Can't hear anymore. So good morning. Good morning, Mike. It's Happy Monday. It's Motivation Monday. It's the last week in January. Isn't that just crazy? Good morning, Kat. So let's start off with our daily pledge and get going. Today is a new day. I am ready to be the best me I can be. I will listen so I can learn. I will try hard so my brain can grow. I will not give up. I can learn anything I put my mind to. So today is a new day. It's an opportunity for you to brush it off, start over. I don't know how your weekend went. I don't know how your morning's been going, but let's just brush it off. Let's just start fresh. Let's find ways that we can capitalize on the day, find some motivation, get some things done, and just make it a great day. Life is too short not to make it a great day. Every morning we check in. How are you feeling? And again, I hope you're doing this even when we're not checking in together. I hope you wake up every morning and you say, okay, where am I at today? What do I need to do to feel better? How can I improve my mood? How can I improve my symptoms? Where am I at on my scale? Get out your toolbox or your tool bag and start working on this, okay? Because it's important. It's going to set the tone for your day. It's going to hopefully change your attitude, change your motivation, and it's going to allow you to have a better day. Better day than feeling down in the dumps, right? Sitting in our pity pot, okay? So let's work on that. Do your daily check-in every day. So today is Motivation Monday, and I wanted to go back to our goals. So back on January 4th, when we were back, we talked about a new year and a new you, and we talked about goals. And we talked about what you were going to do to improve yourself for the rest of the year. Well, we're a month in, okay? Where are you at? I want to reassess the situation. What I'm guessing has happened is that many of you have experienced a setback or a failure, and you have completely washed away any goal that you have for yourself. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about setbacks. Let's talk about changing our thinking. Let's talk about what is inside your control and what is not. And let's talk about fear and how fear really prevents us from being the best we can be. It really prevents us from having confidence that we need, and so on. So I'm stumbling over my words. I have so much to talk about. Let's talk about setbacks, okay? If you think back to the beginning of the month, what goals did you set for yourself? Now, sometimes what happens is, again, we have to set goals that are specific and very detailed. Otherwise, it is hard to follow through with them because we don't really have any expectation. They're just too broad, and so we kind of give up on them, right? But if you did that and you're still experiencing a setback, what do we need to do about that? So how to reset after a setback? We have to reframe it. If you experienced a setback, what they say to here is you never really fell off the track. Okay, so we have to reframe it. Again, it comes back to our stinking thinking, okay? We have to change that. Take your negative thought and change it. Well, I may not have been able to do that yet, or this may have happened now, but I can if I rework that a little bit. Remember the power of yet. We've talked about that. Well, I didn't get there yet, or I kind of did this, but I can do whatever I put my mind to, right? Ask yourself, why is this goal important? If you're experiencing a setback and things didn't go well, or you kind of fell off the track a little bit, why is this goal important to you? Sometimes we have to remind ourselves why it is that we made that goal in the first place. It was important to you a month ago, and I know it's still important to you now, but now you're feeling maybe a little defeated. You're feeling just tired out. You don't know where to turn to. That negativity creeps in. It starts to prevent you from being able to follow through. And so now you feel like you failed and you just kind of throw it all aside, right? But why was this goal important to you? If your goal was to be healthy and to walk more and to monitor your diet, why? Why did you want to do that? Did you want to do it so you felt better physically? Did you need to do it for doctor's purposes to be healthier? Why did you want to do that? If your goal was to spend more time with friends and you haven't spent time with any friends, why was your goal important in the first place? And so we need to ask ourselves that. Write it down. The best way to help yourself understand things and to process things, get out a piece of paper, write it down. Why was that goal important to you? Why did you do that? And if you can't come up with anything, maybe it wasn't the right goal. Okay. The next one is prioritize. You need to A lot of times our goals start to fall by the wayside because we don't prioritize them. We don't take the time necessary to actually work on them or to do anything about it or to research or to follow through with it. And so we need to take a look at our routine. Remember, every day we should have a nice, good schedule going and a good routine. And every day find a little chunk of time that you are able to work on your goals. Okay, it should be something that's a priority to you because it means something to you. That makes a difference. So if you're experiencing a setback, we have to reframe our thinking. We need to ask ourselves why it was important in the first place, and then we need to prioritize, because if it's still important to you and it's still something that you want to accomplish, we need to find the time to do it, right? Most often we need to ask ourselves, why did that setback happen? What got in the way? What were the barriers? What were the walls? What were the limitations that maybe created that setback? Okay, and how did you feel about that? If you felt hopeless and anxious and depressed, we need to change our thinking. But what can we do to help us refocus our attention? Okay, sorry. So what was your goal? What setbacks happened? How did you feel? And how can we rechange that? How can we reframe that? Again, it comes back to your thinking. Remember, last week or the week before, I did this. We're going to catch it, we're going to check it, and we're going to change it, okay? So anytime you experience a setback or anytime something doesn't go well, instead of shoving it all to the side, flushing it down the toilet, and not going back to that, we have to change our thinking, because now we've gotten in our head. Now we think we can't do it, but we have to use the power of yet, and we have to change our thinking, right? So catch it, check it, and change it. And so that's how we're going to handle our setbacks. So go back to your goal. Think to yourself for a minute. What goal did you have? Everybody makes a New Year's resolution. Everybody thinks of something they want to work on for the year. Did you already stop working on it? And if so, why? What happened? And let's go back to that. Let's change it. We have to change our thinking. We also have to be resilient. We have to know that there are always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be failures. There's always going to be roadblocks. Nothing's ever going to work out the way we have it pictured. Nothing, ever. I'm here to tell you that. Nothing will ever work out the way you thought it would be, but it can if you just keep working on things, okay? It doesn't mean we have to completely give up our goal altogether. We just have to be resilient, and we have to kind of roll with the punches. Be okay with change. It says optimism focuses on your strengths. Attitude to life, focus on action. Have a can do, right? Would not say I can't. I do not like that I can't phrase. You always say I can. I just haven't done it yet. Don't forget the power of yet. Emotional awareness. We have to communicate. We have to have control of ourselves. Your response to circumstances, okay? We have to have social network. We have to have a cheerleading squad, okay? Remember, you're the football team, and we have to have a cheerleading squad. And in order to really follow through with things, sometimes we just need that extra support. You have to have a sense of humor. When you're being resilient and you're dealing with setbacks, you have to have a sense of humor. You have to be able to laugh at yourself, okay? If you don't laugh at yourself and allow yourself to make mistakes, it just creates more anxiety. It creates more of a depressed mood. You get so hard on yourself that your confidence is completely squashed and we give up. Okay, so you have to have a sense of humor. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you can do anything you put your mind to. I know that's super hard, but the more you change your mindset, the more you start to focus on the things you can do or the things you want to do and really trying hard to do that, it's amazing all of the things that really get accomplished. And your ability to problem solve, and you have to be flexible, and again, you have to roll with the punches. So if you're working on goals for yourself for the new year, maybe you want to own a home or be debt free or start a savings account or get some new friends or go on a trip or exercise more or eat healthy, whatever it is, whatever you decided to focus on the beginning of the new year, if you have already got setbacks in this month, which I'm sure you did, we can change that. You have to change your thinking. You have to be resilient, and you can't give up. 4 ways to overcome failure. Okay, failure, people make failure sound like it's this dreadful word of like, this makes you a bad person. Failure does not make you a bad person. We fail all the time. It's okay. It's how we learn and grow. Failure does not mean like it. People make failure seem like this big black dark cloud that hangs over you. Okay, but it's not that way. And so we have to change our thinking. When we think of failure, we need to shift that a little bit, okay? It's not making you a bad person. It doesn't mean you can't do anything. It doesn't mean you should just stay in bed all day long. failure happens. Okay, it's how we learn. It's how we change. It's how we grow. Number one, accept that failure and setbacks will occur, and you need them to overcome things. You need failure to overcome things, to learn to be resilient, to learn to use your coping skills. Maybe you need to change things a little bit. Maybe that goal that you had in place, maybe you need to break it down a little bit further. If your goal was to lose 20 pounds by the end of the month, was that realistic? No, it's not. But you tried. I like that, Chris. You tried. The only time you really truly fail is if you did not try at all. Okay, that's what I will tell you. The only time you fail is if you didn't try at all. Okay, here is my example. I'm going to use myself as this. Okay, fear and failure sometimes creep in my head too, right? And we're human beings. It happens. But I've always said that I would never ski because I'll break a leg. I'll end up in the ER. Something bad's going to happen. It's a bad idea. I don't ever want to do it. My youngest daughter decided she wanted to go skiing yesterday. She loves that. And I want her to be able to do that. But I also didn't feel comfortable with her going up a lift by herself and whatever. Okay, I had to suck it up and I had to try it. I've never tried it. And I've always just brushed it off as one of those things I can't do. What a horrible word, can't. But I will tell you, at the end of the day, after 2 hours of going up and down the hills with her, I did it. And that was exciting. And I learned something new about myself, and I could do it. And that whole I can't thing, that doesn't work. And you can't short yourself, right? So the only time you fail is if you don't try at all. And by trying, you were succeeding, right? It may not have worked out real great for you, but at least you tried. And so look I learned something new about myself, and I always said I would never do it, and I would have missed out. Number 2, recognize that success and failure are on the same path. Again, failure doesn't mean that you are worthless. It doesn't mean you should quit. It doesn't mean that you can't do anything. Success and failure are on the same path. They work together. It's a partnership. It's how you learn and grow and you change. It's how you become your best self, okay? Number 3, celebrate the effort of working toward your goals. Focus less on the results, okay? I know we all want instant gratification. We live in a world of instant gratification. You need something, you ask Siri. You want to listen to music, you ask Alexa. That's not how it really works, though, okay? And so in order to really celebrate successes, we have to focus on the goal. Don't focus so much on the end result, but yet focus on your journey. What are you doing? Okay, so my goal for the new year, I want to lose weight and I want to be healthy. I want to feel better. The weight thing, I can't focus on that so much because ultimately at the end of the day, that's not the end result for me. The end result for me is to feel better. If I'm going to tell you guys to be me responsible and to focus on your self-care, I need to do the same thing. And I have, and I feel better. I'm feeling better, okay? Physically, mentally. It's when you start to take care of yourself, everything else kind of falls into place. Now, at the end of it all, if I end up losing a bunch of weight, that's great. That's a cherry on top of the cake, right? But you have to focus on your goal itself. Don't focus on the end result. Focus on the journey. What's changing for you and what's kind of all coming together for you, okay? And number 4, understand that setbacks or failures does not define you as a person. I just said that, right? Failure and setback does not make you a bad person. It does not mean you should quit. It does not mean, right, Thomas Edison, 2,000 attempts to create the light bulb, right? If he would have quit trying, we would not have a light bulb. Sad. That's sad. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. That's a true statement. You should always keep trying. You might need to rework it a little bit or revamp it a little bit, but you should never give up. Never quit trying. Part of your goals is focusing on what's in your control and what's outside of your control, okay? And so this is just kind of another way of doing it. We hold up our little circle. We focus on what's inside the circle. That's us. Everything outside of the circle is things that we just don't have any control of. But I like this one too. This is a new little, an opportunity for you to do a little craft or drawing or a new way of thinking about it. Draw your hand. Put your hand down on the piece of paper. It's backwards. I can't do that. Put your hand down on the piece of paper, and inside the hand, I kind of like that, by taking things by the palm of your hand, right? That's what they say. But put your hand down. Things that are inside of your hand are what you have control over. Things outside of your hand, you don't have control over that. So if you have setbacks, maybe they weren't really setbacks. It's just that you were trying to control things outside of here, and it didn't work. And we can only focus on ourselves. We can only focus on what it is that we need and we want and what's in here. Everything else is outside of our control. So if things that are outside of your control created a setback, we need to reframe our thinking. We need to change it up a little bit and get back on track and focus on the things that we can control, the things that we have, which is us, right? Lastly, I think, I wish, I feel, I need, I hope, I want. I statements. What do you feel? What are you feeling like right now on this Motivation Monday? What are you feeling like? Are you feeling down in the dumps? We need to change that, okay? What do you wish for? I wish to be more resilient. If that's the case, then we need to work on that. Let's get out some workbooks. Let's get out some readings. Let's focus on ways that we can be more resilient. What are you thinking about? What do you need? What are you hoping for? And what do you want? Okay, these are all the things. These are I statements. This is focusing on what you can control. I statements give you the power back to say, here's what I need, here's what I feel, here's what I want, and here's what I'm going to do about it. It changes everything, right? When you say I statements, it changes your thinking. It's good. Remember, catch it, check it, and change it. Use your I statements and build that motivation. Get that little fire in your belly going again so that you can feel motivated to work on your goals. Deal with any setbacks, deal with any failures. Remember, failure does not mean you're a bad person. It does not mean anything other than you just got to reroute things a little bit and keep trying, right? So, Motivation Monday, right? There's kind of a lot of things that come into play with that. But most importantly, what I want you to take away from the day is you are in control. Don't focus on the things you can't control. Failure does not make you a bad person. Failure is a part of your journey. Remember, failure and success, they work together. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. Go back to the beginning of the month. What were your goals? What were your steps? If you've had setbacks, get back to that. Start reframing it. Figure out why you wanted to do it in the first place and start prioritizing it, okay? If your goal is to make your mental health the best it's ever been, get back on that track. Get your resources. Start using your tools. And I promise you, it will all start to fall into place. We have to keep trying. We have to be resilient. We have to have confidence in ourselves. So happy Monday. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Like I said, I think it's going to get a little bit chillier out, but again, it's still beautiful. Capitalize on the day. Look at your goals. Figure out how you're going to keep working on them. Accept the setbacks. Change it up a little bit, but most importantly, just take care of yourself. Eat your 3 meals a day, drink lots of water, find things that are enjoyable, do some meaningful activities, and just make sure that you make every moment count today and get back on track with your goals. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.